That's pretty much it. Okay. Enough Bravo stuff, enough random stuff. I wanted to ask you about some news stories, obviously, and we got into it.
Yeah, yeah.
We got into some personal things, but really, I want to talk about the fall and rise of Reggie Dinkins. It's starring Tracy Morgan, Daniel Radcliffe, and a bunch of other people. It is actually a hilarious show. It's on Peacock. It's if you have ads, it might be like 28 minutes, but without ads, it's 21 minutes. It's really funny. It's about a football player. He still has money, but he has hired an Oscar-winning director played by Daniel Radcliffe um, to kind of document him. And he calls it a movie, but it's supposed to be about a documentary on his life. His best friend, who also played ball with him, lives in his basement. He has a son, he has a new hot girlfriend, and his ex is his agent. It's like a chaotic, hilarious, like one camera like comedy. And Tracy Morgan is just such a not dynamic because he usually plays the same roles, but he's really good at playing
Yeah.
those kinds of roles. And his form of comedy always hits for me personally. And I like seeing a different side of Harry Potter. Um, what did you think of the first episode?
I loved it. I mean, I thought it was, it's reminiscent. It's the kind of style of comedy that 30 Rock did really well in terms of like they would say a joke and then they would cut to said joke or said like little like, oh, it's like the time I had a bunch of tennis balls flying at my face. And then you would cut to that tennis ball, like really quick cutaways. Or it's like, it's like a live action version of American Dad or Family Guy where they do that kind of a lot.
Yes.
And I think it really works. And I think Tracy Morgan did that so well on 30 Rock. And so that formula, if you like that, is here, but they're also, it's only a 21-minute first episode, so it's real easy breezy. And I actually did laugh a bunch. Tracy Morgan really does have this unique comic sensibility that nobody else has. I remember back in the day before he even got 30 Rock, I was a general manager at a nightclub, and I remember him coming in, and this was after he'd left SNL, and he was just wanting free bottles of Ciroc. And I'd be like, we can't give you that. He'd be like, I'm Brian Fellows. Give me a bottle. I'm Brian Fellows. Because he did that, a character on SNL. And I'd be like, I'm sorry, I still can't give you a bottle of Ciroc. And, but he's exactly how he is on the show. He was just like, no, no. And he was just so loud and so funny. But it's so great when I think this show knows how to use him properly that I will watch the second episode of this. I will watch, it's like, it's right up my alley humor wise. And his downstairs neighbor that he used to play football with is Bobby Moynihan, another Saturday Night Live alum. And I love Bobby
Mm.
Moynihan. So I think, it'll be interesting. This is kind of like not a departure for Daniel Radcliffe, but I was surprised to see Daniel Radcliffe in this. But I think, I don't watch a lot of network half-hour comedies anymore, so I thought this was actually way better than I expected it to be.
I know that Daniel Radcliffe, he was on like a show called Miracle Workers, and I didn't watch that. But it was a comedy show. It was on CBS. It was a network show. So I do know that, like, I think that he obviously he is on Broadway a lot, but he also likes to do comedic roles. And I never watched Miracle Workers. I did end up watching this one show. I think it was like called Sick Day on Netflix, and it aired in the UK. And it was like the redhead dude from Harry Potter. He had a show and he was really funny. So to see Daniel also be funny and grown up and like all this stuff, the references
Yeah.
of the show is hilarious. Like the reason that Reggie is still rich is because he bought a soccer team and they're like before Ryan
Yeah.
and Ryan's friend bought it. And I'm like, that's hilarious because I
Yeah,
don't
before
know
Ryan Reynolds bought a soccer team, he
a
did,
soccer
yeah.
team. And then he was like, and that other guy. And it's funny because the other guy is famous too, and I don't know his name. Like I don't know the other guy. Rob Mackle, is that his name? Rob Rackham? I don't know.
Rob McElhaney, yeah.
Yes, him. Um, so we find out that yeah, Arthur, which is Daniel Radcliffe's character, he won an Oscar, but after that he got offered, which every Oscar winner wants is to do a Marvel movie. And they show that he basically had a huge breakdown trying to direct the Marvel movie. And that is why he basically can't really even afford to go home. He's like taking buses and he is really doing documentary style things because that is what he's good at because he couldn't handle the Marvel thing. And they cut
Yeah.
to like a blue background with tennis balls and it's hilarious because you always hear about how that's how they film the Marvel movies. He ends up firing Arthur by the end of the show and rehiring him because he can't do it himself. He ends up firing his agent, who's his ex-wife, and rehiring her because he just can't function by himself. And it's like a fun family dynamic. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. And it's just something like an easy breezy background watch. You like, do your laundry or put this on before bed. If you like 30 Rock, if you like Girls Five Eva, it's that type of beat. I just really think that this is a hilarious show and people should invest in it. I mean, I never thought that I would see Daniel Radcliffe in a show with Tracy Morgan. Like it's really hilarious. Oh, and the reason that he needs this to work is because he got thrown out of the league because he was betting on himself and he did a live interview where he thought he was talking to his
but
bookie.
but he goes, I bet he said, I bet on I don't just bet on my games, I bet on every game. And then he was like, you're my bookie. It was hysterical.
And then he's like, "At what time do I have the live interview?" And they're like, "This is the live interview." It was just funny, just silly, giggly, good stuff that we need nowadays, especially because that's the kind of show that usually comes on, like NBC or Fox or even TBS, but now it's on Peacock. So they're like bringing back different genres on Peacock, honestly. And also, you guys, if you don't know, you need to, if you have Xfinity, which, I'm a direct TV girl, but if you have Xfinity and you've had it for a while, you get Peacock for free. So that's the thing. And
Yeah.
I think that it's misleading because Peacock will tell you that you have Premium Plus, but it still has commercials. And there's like like another package that's a little bit more expensive. That's the real Premium Plus. That's the one without commercials. Just in case you guys didn't know, it like really stresses me out because I'm like, I don't need to buy. I went at the beginning of the year. I'm like, I have too many subscriptions, so I need to cancel something. So I'm looking up stuff, and I'm like, oh, I have free premium Peacock, and it turns out I actually don't even have free premium Peacock. I have regular Peacock. So I had to learn that the hard way, and I may or may not use someone else's Peacock. Thank you for letting me use it. Let's talk about what I really got got you here today to talk about, which I randomly like if it's something that is very obscure or very early aughts or 90s Caucasian adjacent. I will randomly message Ryan. I remember, finding out that Jeff Buckley died. I just found that out like maybe in
Yeah.
January. And he's the guy that sings
And just so you
Hallelujah.
guys at home know, he died like 25 years ago.
Well, I was getting to it. Yeah, he died 25 years ago,
Oh,
but
sorry. I
I
thought you
was
were like, I just found.
sick. Like I had just found out because they had an HBO like documentary on him and about all these things, and I'm like, oh, it might be nice to like watch this documentary because I like to watch the music documentaries, especially since they had that one about that guy who's really alive, and he works as a janitor in New York, and I'm like, okay, these musician documentaries are getting out of hand, so I want to watch this, and I just found out that he died, and it really like made me depressed because that is my favorite song from the Shrek franchise, that Hallelujah, which you told me it's a cover, but I'm not ready to accept that yet either. R.I.P. Jeff
Yeah, it's by
Buckley.
Leonard Cohen. But I think Jeff Buckley does a better version than Leonard Cohen.
Yes. So I randomly texted Ryan. I'm like, Jeff Buckley died because I had no one else to tell that. Um, and then I don't know why. I think I was going through like just different. I was really watching Superman. I was watching Batman. I was watching all the like the animated versions of like Batman movies, and I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen that a lot of people talk about. I saw George Clooney, who I have different feelings about. He did an advert or like an interview, and he's like, "Yeah, so when I did Batman and Robin, I knew that I should have known it wasn't gonna be successful because I couldn't turn my head." And I'm like, "What? They did a Batman where he couldn't turn his head?" And I'm like, "How what are you even talking about?" So I'm like, "You know what? I've only ever seen, Dark Knight Rises, that trilogy, and then obviously my favorite, which is the Robert Pattinson one, as far as live action goes." So I'm like, I don't know which one that I wanna dive
Wait,
into
you hadn't
next
seen
because I don't
the
really
Michael
like.
Keaton Batman and Batman Returns?
No, I only saw him in The Flash,
Wow.
which is where I saw George Clooney, which that was the first time I found out that
Oh,
he was Batman too. So, I'm like, "You know what? Let me go and watch Batman and Robin because I hear that Uma Thurman is in it, Drew Barrymore is in it, and I love Poison Ivy." I think that we get a lot of Harley Quinn, but we don't get a lot of Poison Ivy. So I'm like, "I really love Poison Ivy, so let me go back, watch Batman and Robin," and I absolutely fucking love this movie. Like, from
I knew you
beginning to
would. I
end,
knew you
it's
would.
so camp. I mean, I think I wouldn't say it's better than Catwoman, but I feel like it's up there with Catwoman, which is a is definitely a compliment coming from me. I think that it's what a comic book
Yeah.
movie should be. I think that, the comic accurate costumes, I think that the storyline, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger, the cast that they put together, and even
Just
just the
freeze! The Iceman cometh! Winter is coming! How many
every
Just
single
freeze! The
person
Iceman cometh!
every single person literally had, like, their little quips and lines, and I thought it was so funny because I think that people think that, superhero movies need to be so real. And I'm like, that's not even the point of superhero movies. Superheroes are not real. Have you been outside? No one's coming to help you. Like, this is literally what I imagine when I, read like a comic book strip, which I've only done a few times, trust me. I'm like, oh, this is what I imagine in my head. It's kind of like Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey. I'm like, this is what I imagine in my head, the colors, the ridiculousness of it. Like, you know, just not taking it so self-serious. I feel like people need to go and revisit it and not look at it as a Batman movie, but look at it as something like a comic book movie, like an accurate version of a comic book movie. I want to know because you were around when it first came out. I was learning how to walk
Yeah.
personally, so that's why I missed it. What did you think when it first came out versus what did you think when you rewatched it last night?
I hated it when it first came out, and I hated it when I watched it last night. Now, to your point, I will say it does. If and this is just, by the way, this is art is subjective, and what Kaya says is totally right. It does work as a camp movie. It totally works. I mean, there are nipples on the bat suit. Like at the very beginning, they're showing them put on the costumes, and they have ass shots of the rubber latex. Like it's a very
Yes.
horny. There's like so many kind of like like horny subtextual info. Like Joel Schumacher, the director of this movie, was a proud gay man, and he directed actually one of my favorite films, The Lost Boys, with Corey Haim and Corey Feldman and Kiefer Sutherland. He did so many Warner Brothers films. So the first two films of Batman were directed by Tim Burton, and I loved those films as a kid. And then they gave Batman Forever with Val Kilmer as Batman to Joel Schumacher because they wanted to go in a lighter, more comic book tone. And then that movie actually did good, well enough, but they even wanted to go further because they wanted to sell toys. And so that's where you got Batman and Robin. And Batman and Robin, if you like, I'm just for my taste, I love when it's real because I want to believe that I could be if I had a different life, I could be Batman. If I had trained really, if I worked really hard and my parents were billionaires and they died, I could be Batman. Like
You could be this
that's
Batman
the
for
great
sure.
thing about Batman is that there's yeah, I could be this bad. But there's this great. So when I see this, like, it's just not my. I was just like, "Oh, this is such a waste," and it's so tacky and it's so corny, and there's never a point where you feel these characters are in danger. There's never like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like I just said, is just saying like, "Hell's about to freeze over. Just freeze. The Iceman
He has
coming.
his freeze
Ah,
ray, and he's
cold."
like,
Like everything is so
"Everybody chill."
ridiculous.
I love that. He's like, "Everybody
Yeah,
chill," and he
just
will, like,
chill.
freeze someone. It's so fucking funny. I
Oh
I
my,
think that
it's cold. My nipples are so hard because it's cold.
I think that what really
That's not a
got
lie.
me is Poison Ivy. If you put a woman in a cunty costume, I'm there. I think that's why it really speaks to me because obviously you
Uma
guys
Thurman's
probably
great.
have seen it. She works as a student for a mad scientist, Dr. Woodrow, and Dr. Woodrow, and I never knew Bane's like history. I just saw him in the Batman, trilogy, and I'm
Kaya,
like,
that's
well,
not
why does
Bane's
he act
actual
like that?
history. That's a bastardization. But that is not Bane's actual history. If you want to go by the comic books, and like to your point, comic books can be like fun and campy. But I mean, ask Kendrick. Like a lot of comic books are really intense and really real and like really effed up. And this story is for kids. But the thing was, this movie bombed at the box office. I mean, I think it's got a cult following now, but even rewatching it, when they like the very first thing, like Mr. Freeze has like a team of like ice hockey players, and then
Yep,
Batman and Robin like push a button on their boots and all of a sudden ice skates come out. That's fucking ridiculous. Don't do that to Batman. They don't have ice skates in their boots. Like that's ridiculous, you guys. And then there's a scene where Bruce Wayne's like, I'm hosting a fundraiser for this, and
yep,
Batman and Robin are the special guests. Batman and
yep.
Robin aren't special guests at charities. They're
They
vigilantes that come out at night and they beat up criminals and stuff. They don't go and help. And then Batman has a credit card. He goes, never leave home without it. It is
a
so
black
flippin'
card.
cheesy that
That was
like
so dope.
it's such a it's so it's not dope, guy. It's like it's offensive.
And I just think that every time Poison Ivy opened her mouth, like she was like a nerdy science girl, and she obviously got into a fight with Dr. Woodrow, and he thought that he killed her, but instead he made her poison, and basically her kisses are poison, and she also has pheromone
Yeah.
like dust that she sprays out, and she is like this nerd at the beginning of the movie, but then when she turns into Poison Ivy, her voice just becomes just this sexual, like amazing seductive like
Yeah.
goddess, and everything that she says is hilarious
Everybody
because
wants to fuck me. How are you? Yeah.
when she sees Batman, she's like, "There's something about an anatomically correct rubbish rubber rubber costume that puts a fire in a girl's lips." And I'm like, anatomically correct rubber costume that puts a fire in a girl's lips is iconic. And then Bane is like her side her side guy, and he like does everything for her, and he doesn't even speak a full sentence. He just repeats one word that you said, and he kind of becomes
Nope.
the sidekick to Mr. Freeze also. And also, I sympathize with every villain here. Poison Ivy, she just wants to, make the environment better and the world a better place. And she sees that Wayne Enterprises can do that. And she has a
Yeah.
plan laid out. And she's like, listen, if you do these things, we can save the world. And then also, Mr. Freeze, all he wants is to help his wife who has an illness, and it turns out this whole time Alfred has the same illness that Mr. Freeze's wife has, and I'm just like, well, these aren't really villains, so that's why I felt bad. And
Herpes.
it's insane. It's insane that, at the end of the movie, they put them in the Arkham Asylum, but they're like, you're not just going to the Arkham Asylum, you're gonna be able to continue your research on helping your wife at the Arkham Asylum. And I'm just like, this is not what would happen, but I love everything about it. I love that Vivica Fox has like one line in it, and I'm like, I didn't even know Vivica Fox was in this movie. It's like they had an unlimited fucking budget. It felt like, you know what? It felt like what I imagined a Ryan Murphy Batman movie would be. Because I feel like Ryan Murphy has gotten to the point where he
Oh,
knows
that's
that he
interesting.
can literally do anything that he wants because he has had like he has had such success in his life that he can make things like the Kim Kardashian show. He can make things like The Beauty, which I'm obsessed with The Beauty. Like, he can make these things that are like, why are these all-star people in this literal terrible show? And it becomes so bad that it's good. And I thought that you would really,
Yeah.
appreciate
Well,
that
I mean,
since
by the way,
that's
if
the name of your
this Kim Kardashian would be in this film. Kim Kardashian would have been in Batman and Robin if it was made today, because that's the level of acting that you have going on in this movie. And you even left out Batgirl. Alicia Silverstone is Batgirl in this film. And Kaya, when this first film came out, or when it was even being talked about, I remember this. Back when this first was being made, there were pictures of Alicia Silverstone on set, and they said Alicia Silverstone was fat. Can you believe that?
what the fuck? If that's fat, then I don't know wanna know I don't wanna know what I am back then, because that's crazy, because she even got her own
No, it's
costume suit up.
insane.
They
It's
showed her ass, they showed her titties, and I'm like, "Hell yeah."
yeah,
I don't understand, like, what you guys were thinking back then, especially when you think about, what's that famous movie, Bridget Jones's Diary? Like, I remember growing up, like, her whole thing was
yeah, that way
supposedly like
Renee
she was
Zellweger
fat.
was considered fat.
And I'm just like, "What the hell is that?" Like, it's wild. Okay. I know y'all been on my Instagram, and I know that you've seen that I have been on my GLP-1 journey. I am closer to where I wanna be, but not there just yet. Baby, I am the opposite of a hater. I'm actually gonna put you on, m'kay? Now, there's a lot of us who feel like, a shot might be too much, like, not downing shots. I'm just saying I understand that there are a lot of people who are scared of needles in general. Guess what? Bro.co has introduced a GLP pill. That's right. No sticking yourself with needles, no stigma, and no feeling like you're doing this for an illness. Now, Ro.co is 100% online care, access to clinically proven, FDA approved medications, free insurance check, side effect management, and dosing support. Now, listen to this. Ro offers the first FDA approved GLP-1 pill for weight loss at the lowest cost around. So no more searching, wondering, and getting scammed and told multiple prices. The new FDA approved GLP-1 pill is available for $149 for the first dose, in addition to your Row membership fee, and then $299 a month for the higher doses. Now, when it comes to the membership fee, I also got you. I got you a code, baby. So what's going to happen is $45 your first month. And then every month after will be $145. That excludes the cost of the GLP-1 medication. Now, in addition to the newly approved pill, Ro also offers a full suite of the most effective brand name FDA approved GLP-1s, all at the lowest cost. Remember how I told you they accept insurance? They also accept cash too. They are so speedy over at Ro.co. If you're using insurance, you can expect to be on your GLP-1 within 2 weeks. And if you're paying cash, baby, you will likely start in less than 1 week. Okay, now are you ready to start this journey for a new you? Go to ro.co/Bravo Black to see if you're eligible for the new GLP-1 pill on Ro. That's ro.co/Bravo Black to get started on Ro. Go to ro.co/safety for box warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medications. Based on study in non-diabetics with obesity or overweight plus a weight-related condition with diet and exercise. If this package was around when I first started my GLP journey, this is exactly what I'd use. And listen, if you do start, DM me so we can talk about GLP-1s and our progress and all that. I'm very invested. Love ya. Now back to the show. Okay, so we have switched to another platform. I don't know what's going on with Riverside, but y'all better figure that shit out, because I'm not paying for the premium version for no reason. Okay, if I'm gonna just do Zoom, I'm gonna just do Zoom. Thank you very much. But we were talking about, obviously, the ideal, or no, the pressure put on women back in the day, because I was saying that I loved that Alicia Silverstone got her moment of, she got to suit up as as Batwoman or Batgirl.
That girl, yeah.
Batgirl, because at the end, George Clooney is like, "That's not very PC of you. Shouldn't it be Bat person or Bat
Another
woman?"
horrible line of dialogue in this movie. This movie is so full of double entendres that like do not work at all. And by the way, it works. I realize it works to a segment because I bet half the people listening are like, I love that movie. I fucking hated it. But
No, most people hate it.
Alicia Silverstone, you know, two first off, it's ridiculous that all of a sudden it's a bat family. It's already ridiculous the Robin is there. This is, by the way, once they pulled out those ice skates, I was like, this is heated rivalry right here. This is the heated rivalry. Like, why don't you, if you're going to do this, just straight up be fucking. Like, Batman and Robin should just be straight up fucking. And then Alicia Silverstone, you're supposed to protect your identity, but Alicia Silverstone's pretty much able to find it out like that. Like, it's not hard to figure out that these guys are Batman and Robin. And then she's like, yeah, I'm going to, like, Alfred's like, I thought, I downloaded my personality into a VR set and I've made you a costume. And then she goes and fights the crime and then she joins them and they have the iconic, like, running image. By the way, did you notice the boys had nipples on their suit and her nipples were covered up on the
Yes,
bat
because
suit?
she's a girl, so we
Free the
can't have it
nipple.
for a
Free
girl.
the nipple. Let women show nipples too. My
Hey,
God.
I'm all for it, but, they aren't. And I was talking about how, like, um, I just feel like, especially for the white community, no offense, it's just that you guys put so much pressure on Renee Zellweger when I was younger because Bridget Jones's Diary is literally all about her being, like, undesirable and quote unquote fat, and I'm just like, "What are we talking about?" Like, I am just not seeing it, and, like, it was a thing
Oh,
too.
it's crazy.
It's wild, and I'm glad that we are well, do we ever really get away from it?
Well, think
Because
about it. The
now
90s, the 90s and the early aughts. Think about it even in terms of I grew up in a time where Jennifer Lopez had a huge ass. Where like when Jennifer Lopez first came on the scene, everybody was
Yep.
like, "My God!" There were jokes galore about Jennifer Lopez's ass. And now, like once the rise of the Kardashians, it was like, "Well, we have zip codes for our asses," and Jennifer Lopez is completely out of the ass conversation. But when I was growing up, that was like I remember, like it was like there were articles done. Everybody was talking about J Lo's ass, but it was just like the insane beauty standards we put on women. Where I remember those. Alicia Silverstone was bullied about being overweight, that she was an overweight Batgirl. And you watch that movie now, and you're like, "What are you talking about? What are you in?" It's like, "What are you even talking about?" It's so crazy and ridiculous. On top of that movie is crazy and ridiculous, anyways. That you're like, God, this put such a
An
bad
added
taste.
layer.
Well, yeah, Alicia Silverstone, I think, hated doing this movie,
I did not
and
know
I think
that.
rightfully so. If you're gonna get bullied for being Batgirl, that's insane. But the movie failed at the box office, and they stopped
Sad.
well, by the way, I mean, you love Marvel movies, a lot of us love Marvel movies.
Yeah.
This movie in particular is credited for starting the seriousness of comic book movies from that point on. Was that
Sad.
Marvel saw this, the head of Marvel saw this and said, "Okay, what if we went this like, let's do a serious Iron Man. Let's not do campy. Let's do real. Let's do it comic book accurate. Not 60s comic book, but let's do comic books now." And they've had such great success with it. But even that at that point, Batman and Robin, the Batman intellectual property was done at Warner Brothers, and that's why Catwoman, there's no references to Gotham City or anything like that because they couldn't do that. They couldn't do that rights wise. And then from there, that's when the Christopher Nolan's Batman began. We were like, we want to take it serious. We want to do a comic book faithful adaptation of Bruce Wayne and Batman. But that was a direct response to how bad Batman and Robin was received at the box office because they really did a film that they were trying to sell toys to kids.
And I think it should just be it's I think it's so self-serious and that's I mean, although it started a new wave of comic book doing comic book accurate, but also being serious and how we get things like the Iron Man franchise and Black Panther and the Penguin and all these like really good shows. I think that the problem with a lot of the fans especially is that now they expect everything to be more realistic, and I'm like, "How are we being realistic in a
When it's
universe
not
that
a
does not
yeah.
exist?" It's just like with Game of Thrones, they're like, "Why are these people black?" And I'm like, "Well, they have dragons," you know? Like, why are we why is that the thing that, like, throws you off?
Yeah.
There's room for everything. There's
But
room
it
for,
it
like,
kinda goes
fun
back to
things
our
that I like.
original conversation about, like, the Super Bowl. It's like, wait a sec, you can't have Bad Bunny at the suit. You can't have somebody,
A US
um,
citizen, by the way.
you can't somebody rapping and singing in Spanish. That's offensive. Like that can't be done. Like, are you ridiculous? Like that's crazy. Like it's like no, it can be done. It is done. It will be done. That does represent people. Like
Which
and so
is
even
crazy.
but
But
even
when
when
you
it
think
is
about
crazy.
when you think about the fact that he was also just at the Super Bowl with Shakira and J-Lo,
I
like,
know. People forget about that. People forget because our memories are not long, we have really short-term memory, but then, and that's why even though as much as I hated this film, I do accept and realize that a lot of people love this film, that, like, they love it for the camp element, and it's really just it comes down to a matter of your own personal taste, and that's what I do love about art. Like, I was personally disappointed when I first saw this in the movie theater, and I think it's hysterical that I will roll my eyes at this because that's a direct reflection of what I want to see. So
and
this
I
is
think
not
it's
what I
fair.
wanted. This is not what I wanted to see, but I do realize that it's to me this is hysterically funny. I forgot about things that I was like this is so flippin' ridiculous. But to me, even like the Tim Burton Batman films, they weren't like, real obviously, but I did love that I thought Tim Burton as a director had a definite personal stamp on it where,
Mhm.
Batman Returns, you got to see Batman Returns. It's so horny. It's so you have Michelle
Ooh,
Pfeiffer as Catwoman, you have
love
Danny
her.
DeVito as the Penguin. It's gross, like it really freaked kids out, but also there are all these sexual entendres in there. And to me, I'm like, well, at least that's a director's vision. It's not real, but it has like a stamp of like, oh, you're watching something sort of punk rock in a sense. And you're watching this big budget blockbuster film do things that usually a big budget blockbuster film don't usually do. And so I thought Batman and Robin just was like, "Oh god, who is like, is this for, like, 5-year-olds? Who is" like? Because I couldn't even imagine like, I remember sitting in the movie theater, and I remember an hour in, I was just flat out bored. I was just like, "This is just flat out boring." Like, I watched it in the comfort of my own home. Listen, I watched this once on a movie theater, and there were f I once watched this on an airplane, and there were 5 walkouts. That's how bad this movie is.
It's it's hilarious to me, but I could understand, like, especially at that time, and you take Batman seriously, this would be like a slap in the face, kind of. Like, I guess it
Yeah.
was like the people that, like, didn't like the first Suicide Squad, which I also think was excellent. Like, that's how they felt
You
about
know
it
what I loved
too.
about Suicide Squad? The trailer for Suicide Squad set to that Queen song, it was an amazing trailer. I thought the movie sucked compared to that trailer. I thought the trailer was amazing, but I thought the movie itself I thought the second Suicide Squad directed by James Gunn, I loved.
I like that one too, but I like the first one better because, that's just the kind of person I am.
But that's your style. That's why, like, what I'm saying is that I can respect a movie like that more after hearing you speak about it, and, it, like, just reminds us that we all have our personal tastes, and not one is right. It's like, and I don't have any sort of illusions of like, well, my opinion is the right one. No, it's just my opinion. Like, that's
Yeah.
why even when we cover all the Bravo shows, it's like we're all gonna see something different in these shows, and that's why I think there's room for everybody when we talk about these shows because we all come at it from like this different place where I'm like, if you like Erica Jane, I don't fucking get it, but I'm not going to be like, hey, go off. Like have your, I hope you're enjoying it.
There's just so many different, like, I feel like for me, women empowerment moments on this show, like, especially when in this movie, especially when she shows up at, like, the fundraiser and, like, she's in a gorilla suit and then, like, she t takes off the gorilla suit and, like, she
So
spreads her
ridiculous. Oh
love
God.
pheromone and then she
And then Batman and
she
Robin both fall in love with her, and Robin's like,
both
"You're just
"You're just
jealous. You
jealous
don't
that
want
she
me to be
wants
with
me."
Poison Ivy." It's like,
He
come
says
on,
it
take.
3 times throughout the
Oh,
he's like, "You're jealous that she wanted me instead of you, and you can't take that." And then, like, Poison
wait.
Ivy is just like, "Oh, you can literally you should have a robin signal." And she literally makes a robin signal, and he comes, and he's like, "It's the robin signal." And he kisses her, and it turns out he has rubber lips on, and she's like, "Crap." And I'm just like, "Oh my god, this is so
Oh,
good." It's
you
just
guys
so
also forget
funny.
you forget that also Elle Macpherson is in this movie. She shows up 2 times as Bruce Wayne's longtime girlfriend, and it's
Yep.
the girlfriend that he trots out for, like, just events, and it's so hysterical because this is truly like Bruce Wayne's beard, but even in the like this is how not realistic this is because you're like, oh, that's interesting. He has a girlfriend, but like it's only for events. And she even tells the reporter of like, we're very in love. I'm like, the shit. I mean, are you just dumb as rocks, or do you know he's Batman as well? Like, what the hell is going on here? Because if you're like, how does that work?
And like Ivy, she comes and the girlfriend is like, "Listen, I wanna get married," and he's like, "It's not for me," and she's like, "Well, think about it," and then she just walks off, and I'm like, "This is so chaotic, I don't get it." Also, the Alfred storyline is hilarious to me because in my references, Barbara or Batgirl is usually, like, the commissioner's daughter, but I guess it's a different story this time, and
Yeah.
it's Alfred's niece, and his brother, um, ends up being a butler too. So I'm like, "Is your family just trained butlers?" It's so fucking good. Like, do you
And
not see how
well,
hilarious it
the
is?
funny thing is too, Batman and Batman Returns, the only things that are the same in this movie is that they kept the same butler. They kept Alfred, the same actor, Michael Gow, his name is, rest in peace, and they kept the same Commissioner Gordon, played by this actor Pat Hingle. Those were the same in all four of the Batman films, but they never like kind of comment on it or make a joke about it. Like everybody else is different, different Gotham City completely, different set designs, all of that.
'Cause
But
Alfred is Alfred.
Alfred is Alfred, and, yeah, I mean, it's like, and you wonder, like George Clooney, I saw that interview where he was like, "I couldn't hear, I couldn't move," and all the Batmen through the ages have said the costume is so restrictive.
No, but
Um,
nothing like this. Like, you can tell he's, like, talking and he's like,
yeah, he
it's
can't hear, so the Joel Schumacher would direct on a bullhorn. It'd be like, "George, action! Move, move!"
and there's this part where he, like, comes in and he tells Robin that Alfred is he's like, "No, he's not sick, he's dying," and the whole time he's smiling, and I'm
I
like,
know.
"What the
Well,
fuck is
George
going
Clooney does
on?"
all of his lines with that kind of quirky smile and the cock of the head. Like, he always cocks his head and he's like, he does a very specific line reading, George Clooney does. Yeah, it's obviously, but you just imagine these actors on set, like, and they had to have known how bad this was
Yeah,
because even
that's
George
why I wanna
Clooney,
know, like,
oh, they had to
when
have known.
yeah, when people are on set making a terrible fucking movie, do you guys, like, what do they do? Like, why do they continue to go the way that they're going? Or is it too late at this point?
Oh,
We
it's
got
already
too
locked
many
in. It's
people
like it.
here.
So this is like big, like remember, this is like big IP. This is big intellectual property that Warner Brothers owns. And
Right.
so you have the script, and I'm sure there were a lot of changes to the script, but once you're in production on this big of a movie, like you just have to keep going. Now, George Clooney was a very interesting time because he was on ER, that TV show at the time, which is
Mhm.
like
Yep.
the Pit Lights. And he
Mhm.
was really desperate to be a movie star. He wanted to be a movie star so bad, so much so that he didn't do contract renegotiations with ER. He said, "I'll take less pay if I can do movies." And Warner Brothers was an ER show. They distributed ER, and so they're like, "Okay, you can do Batman." But it's not, you don't have any control of the script, you don't have any control of anything. And if you notice, Arnold Schwarzenegger gets top billing in the like it's usually Batman top
As he
billing.
should, because he
Well,
did.
actually, Jack Nicholson got top billing on the first one, and then Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton got top billing on the second one, and then the third one, Val Kilmer got top billing. But this was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then George Clooney got second billing because he wasn't a proven movie star. And I think he got $5 million for this film, and Arnold Schwarzenegger got $20 million.
Holy
And
shit.
yeah, he got 20 because but Arnold Schwarzenegger was a bona fide action movie star,
So he was
and
like the Rock of,
yeah,
like,
oh yeah,
that
I mean,
age.
yeah, I
I
mean,
would say personally, tell me if you disagree, this is George Clooney's best role.
you're a fucking idiot. Are you out of your mind? Have you seen Michael
I'm dead
Clayton? Have you seen
serious.
Michael Clayton?
Michael Cle
Watch the movie Michael Clayton with George Clooney.
what is it about?
Watch The Descendants with George Clooney. Why? I mean, this is not even, are you out of your mind?
I
This
would
is
say
not
this is
George Clooney.
his best role, especially, like, what's that one where they rob or
What
it's
about
that assembly that, he has a bunch of different guys with him, and
What about fucking Ocean's 11?
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think that this is better than Ocean's
Y
11 to me
you're
personally.
insane. You're just flat out insane.
What do you think that George Clooney's best
From Dusk
movie
Till
is?
Dawn, I think Michael Clayton is his best movie.
Okay, so I will watch that one, but I don't think that it can, like, top this one
Oh,
personally because
Kaya, even he thinks this is the worst movie he's ever done.
okay, but a lot of people hate movies like, for example, Seth Rogen hates this one movie that he did with Barbara Streisand. I
Oh,
forgot what it's
yeah, yeah,
called,
yeah.
and he, like, shit on that movie, and I love that movie. I'm like, "That's not your worst movie. Your worst movie is, like, something else, but it's not that one." The worst movie that Seth Rogen did is that one with, like, what's that white lady's name? It's like she's trying to be president or some shit. That is his worst movie for
Oh, I
sure.
like that movie. I thought that was so cute. I thought that was
It's
a good
terrible. It
romantic
wasn't I
comedy
didn't laugh once, and
with
I laugh at
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron, and I love her because that's another cunty white woman. But, like, I think that I don't really respect, actors' opinions on what they think their worst movie is because they're too close to it to see how we see it. So if they do a good job on something and they don't like it, it's because they were in it and like they had to do it and they're associating different memories with it, they're associating box office numbers, they're associating so many different things. So I don't ever take that into consideration when they say that they think that something is their worst movie.
Well, I mean, this is how politics should be because I am diametrically opposed to most of your taste in film.
Hmm.
And at the same time, I still respect your opinion. But also, what I think you really nailed, though, is like it's like the memories surrounding these movies that you see. Like, I remember when the first Batman came out in 1989, and I was a kid, and I just thought I was just blown away by the preview. I remember and the hype around that movie, and I remember I was traveling with my dad and my family on a road trip because he was a traveling salesman, and we would hop in the car in the summer and we would just go town to town. And we were in Billings, Montana, and I believe the movie came out on like June 19th, 1989. And I remember making my dad take me to see that movie because it just mattered to me so much. I was so hyped on Batman, and that like I'll always remember that summer. And like the Prince did the soundtrack to Batman, and I remember
Oh,
like
I
Bat
remember
like,
that.
oh, Bat Dance and all of that. I mean, there was such hype around that movie, and I was just blown away by that film. And I watch it now, and I have such fond memories of it. But, it's like that's not even the realism that I like now with my superhero movies. But it is. It's those memories that you have along with it. And so I think a lot of kids probably saw this movie and they have great memories of it, you know?
Yeah, I think that I respect everyone's
Okay, wait, wait,
opinion on
wait.
movies
Kaya,
and
Kaya,
shit.
Kaya. We got breaking news.
What happened?
Jill Zarin has been fired.
Nuh-uh.
Yep.
Nuh-uh.
I
Read
just
it, please.
Wait one sec.
And is that from page 6?
It's
Or
from Variety.
oh,
One
shit,
sec.
it's official. That's why shit is, like, going down when Variety has to report on it. Because usually it's, like, page 6 or some shit.
One sec.
Well, while he pulls this up, I want to remind you that Poison Ivy, she has 3 different costumes and they all eat and they're so amazing. And another one of her great lines is like Robin tells her that he needs a sign to team up with her and she goes, "How about slippery when wet?" And I'm just like, "Oh my god, she's so cunt." It's so good, you guys. It's so good. You got to watch this movie, I'm
they
telling
don't
you.
say the word cunt, you guys.
Well, I mean, it is cunt.
But it would be great if they used that kind of language.
They didn't have that back then. It was just a British, curse word back then.
Okay, one sec. I'm trying to get this. Okay.
It's McGregor syndrome is what Alfred had, and he just, oh, that's another thing that I really didn't get, but
Is
I
that a
wanted
made
to
up disease or is that a real disease?
I am not sure, but, all I know is that he had for some reason, Mr. Freeze had the cure to stage 1 McGregor's disease on him, like, randomly, just, like, with him, and he gave it to them, and, like, they set it up, and he was cured just like that. Alfred was cured just like that. I mean, just different things that happened during this movie was just chef's fucking kiss, bruh. Chef's fucking
Okay,
kiss.
so it says okay, Jill Zarin, an OG cast member of The Real Housewives of New York City, has been fired from the E Reunion series, The Golden Life, But before the show has even entered production, Zarin, famously a master of disaster, has been ousted due to a self-inflicted wound. Through E, the show's producers Blink 49 Studio issued a statement on Tuesday, cutting ties with Zarin. In light of recent public comments made by Jill Zarin, Blink 49 Studios has decided not to move forward with her involvement in The Golden Life. We remain committed to delivering the series in line with our company's standards and values.
Holy shit. I didn't even
I'm
think
shocked.
that they were going to.
I did not think that they would do this. That
Thank you. I
is
did not think, because people are like, "Oh, she's gonna be, fired and all this." I'm like, "Not really," because I think that they know that they what they're getting themselves into, but especially I don't know, I just didn't think that they would take swift action like this, especially because this kinda thing is more accepted now. That's wild. Okay, well, if they fire Ramona, we might have something to watch around here, but I know they're not gonna do that because Ramona might see that and then
Well, but
decide
then
to,
it's like, how you kick that can down the line like we talked about at the beginning. Ramona thinks the same way Jill does. I mean, I think
yeah,
Sonia has similar viewpoints, so my thought was that they would actually make this a storyline of Jill dealing with being canceled for her comments. But I think then this makes me think that they want an easy breezy fun show instead of the realism, like just like we were talking about with Batman. They want the Batman and Robin of these ladies. They don't want the Robert Pattinson version of the Roni ladies where they're dealing with their biases and their culture, like so this really gives a clue into the what they were looking for. But that's wild.
that's wild. I did not think it would be so, like, swift. I did not think it would happen. I thought they were just gonna, like, push the show back.
Yeah,
Hell
I'm really
yeah.
shocked, and by the way, and now I'm curious if this show actually will even make it to production because Jill Zarin is one of the main people that actually brought this show, to that the reason why it's happening is partly because of Jill Zarin. She really pushed for this.
I know that it was getting more serious when what is it, Zarin Fabrics or Zarin Sheets came out, and they were like, "We don't fuck with that bitch at all."
Dude, when Zarin I thought Zarin Fabrics was Bobby's, company, and I thought Jill still owned that, but they
Right,
said,
because 'cause they're using the name,
"We
and,
parted ways with Jill years ago," and I was like, "What?" I
this
had
is how I'm finding
no
that out.
clue, you know?
That's wild. Well, a great time to end the show. Ryan, tell people where they can find you, and also, you guys, I'm gonna have Ryan on Patreon for a few minutes. It's gonna be a Patreon that is very you're gonna see a different side of me, a different non-man-hating side of me. So make sure you check out the Patreon. Ryan, where can we find you?
It's called So Bad It's Good. Check it out. There's so many shows, but I'm here to talk to my friend Kaya. So sorry if this was all over the place, you guys, but this is how we talk, and I hope some people enjoyed this. So thank you guys, and send out good vibes for Rebecca having a baby in like 5 weeks.
Hell yeah, and thank you, Rebecca, for literally bringing this I feel like there's no one more than Ryan that should be a girl dad, and that's what I want you to know. That's the nicest thing I'm gonna say to you publicly, but on
Well,
Patreon, I'll say nicer things.
but
Alright.
what if I suck at being okay? Anyways, we'll see you over on Patreon, you guys.